Let's talk about something we all see every single day, a material that has become a full-on modern villain, plastic. But what if that whole story we tell ourselves, that simple good guy, bad guy narrative, is just wrong?
It seems like every generation needs its villain, right? For our grandparents, maybe it was nuclear power. For some of us, it was the Y2K bug. And today? Well, today, plastic is our collective scapegoat. It's the convenient enemy we blame for a whole range of problems. But is it really the bad guy we make it out to be?
Just think about this for a second. It's kind of wild. We're talking over 10 million babies who started their lives in a plastic petri dish, thanks to IVF. We literally trust plastic with the very first moments of human life. And yet, many of us are the same people who panic if we have to drink from a plastic water bottle. Something here just doesn't add up.
Okay, so first up, how did plastic become public enemy number one anyway? Let's kind of unpack this whole scapegoat thing.
So here's the big one, right? The question on everyone's mind. Is plastic toxic? It feels like it should be a simple yes or no, but, and this is the important part, it's actually the wrong question to be asking.
Right, so if we're going to get a real answer, we have to ask the toxicity question in the right way. Turns out, it's not really about the plastic itself. It's all about the context. The real question, the one that actually gets us somewhere, is a lot more detailed. You have to ask, which type of plastic are we talking about? Under what conditions, like heat or sunlight, what chemicals are added to it, and crucially, at what dose. A medical-grade polymer in a sterile lab is it's a completely different universe from a cheap plastic toy that's been baking in the sun for a year. And this really gets to the heart of it. The potential danger, it's usually not the core plastic polymer itself, the duck. It's the other stuff that's been mixed in, like the chemical additives that make it all squishy and flexible, or what happens when sunlight hits it and starts to break it down, releasing those additives.
Okay, and this is a point that we almost always forget, and it's so important. We single out plastic, but the truth is pretty much all materials leach molecules. It's just what they do. Your glass cup, it's leaching tiny bits of silica. Metal cans, they shed ions. Even that wooden cutting board in your kitchen is releasing tannins. This isn't some unique evil of plastic, it's just physics. It's a universal property of matter.
So that brings us to the next big idea we hear all the time about plastic, this whole forever myth.
Just take a second and think about this number. Less than 100 years. Plastic has only been a widespread thing for less than a century. I mean, in the grand scheme of history, that's nothing. It's the blink of an eye.
So that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? How can we be so confident, so absolutely certain that something will last forever when our entire set of data is less than 100 years old? We're making this huge prediction based on a really, really small observation window.
And get this, it turns out we might be totally wrong about that forever thing. Nature, as it turns out, is already adapting. Scientists have actually found bacteria that can literally eat the PET plastic used in water bottles. They found fungi that metabolize other types of polymers. Evolution is on the case, and it's happening way faster than we ever thought possible. We've made this exact mistake before. Think about Chernobyl. We all predicted that the exclusion zone would be a dead zone, forever. But today, it's a thriving wildlife sanctuary absolutely teeming with life. We constantly underestimate how resilient nature is. So, are we making the same mistake with plastic?
Okay, so with all that in mind, let's pivot for a second. Let's look at the other side of the coin. The massive, tangible benefits of plastic that we tend to just forget about.
If plastic was really the deadly poison that some people claim it is, you'd think we'd see that reflected in public health data, right? You'd expect some kind of negative trend. But we see the exact opposite. During the so-called age of plastic, global life expectancy has gone up, infant mortality has plummeted, and food safety has gotten way better. Now, this doesn't prove plastic is totally harmless, of course, but it for sure complicates that simple villain story.
And you can see the direct impact literally everywhere you look. Modern medicine, it's almost unthinkable without sterile single-use plastics like syringes. Plastic packaging, it dramatically cuts down on food waste by making things last longer. Those PVC pipes, they bring clean water to billions of people. It's made countless things lighter, cheaper, and just more accessible to everyone. Okay, so this brings us to the real question here, doesn't it? If the material itself isn't this inherent evil, then why are our oceans and landfills absolutely overflowing with the stuff? What's the actual problem?
Well, that brings us to the real culprit in all this.
And here it is, plain and simple. The problem isn't the plastic. It's us. It's our relationship with it. It's our systems, our habits. We've been given this incredibly powerful tool, and we've been reckless with it. Look, these are systems problems, not material problems. We're churning out a mind-boggling 400 million tons of this stuff every year, a lot of it for things that are designed to be used for 5 minutes and then thrown away. We don't have the waste management infrastructure to handle that kind of volume. And at the end of the day, plastic doesn't just get up and walk into the ocean. We put it there.
All right, so if the problem is how we're using the tool, then the solution has to be learning how to wield it a whole lot more wisely.
And the good news is there is a path forward. It starts with simply reducing what we don't need in the first place. It means designing products for reuse, for durability. It means we have to seriously invest in better recycling infrastructure, and we have to regulate those specific harmful additives we talked about. And of course, we have to keep innovating, both better plastics and better alternatives.
This analogy it says it all, doesn't it? A hammer isn't good or evil. You can build a house with it, or you can break a window. The tool itself has no morality. Plastic is exactly the same. It's one of the most versatile tools we've ever invented. Its value, or its harm, comes from how we choose to use it.
So I want to leave you with this one last thought. All that plastic pollution we see everywhere, that's just a symptom. The real disease is our throwaway culture, our overconsumption, our total failure to manage our own waste. Blaming the plastic is the easy way out. But the real question is, are we finally ready to stop treating the symptom and start treating the disease?